Yo, what's going on, Team Tweedie? I hope you're all super well. Welcome to episode, I think it's 62 of hashtag Ask Tweedie, the football show where you guys send in your football related questions. I do my best to answer them now. This could be something huge. We have Papa Tweedie on the show as the possible new co-host.
Possible? I thought it was a done deal.
Well,
actually,
we haven't signed the contract.
I'm very honoured to be invited to be co-host, but I want more money.
Well, if you guys want to support this fund, he's costing
spend money.
He's burning a hole in my pocket. So if you guys enjoy having Papa Tweedie here, let me know down in the comments, and then we'll get Papa.
What's not to enjoy?
Yeah, as a more regular guest, and possibly in every single thing. Imagine.
And if you're rude to me, I'll never come back.
Imagine Ask Tweedie with like us two in a professional football or something.
For the next 20 years.
Yeah. Anyway, let's crack on with questions. We do 3 questions, 2 questions every episode. And if you want to send them in YouTube in the comments below, and then you'll get your name shouted out. If you think it's a bit more personal, do you know where they send them?
No.
Instagram.
Instagram. What's that? Is that one of those new things?
Yeah. Sheldon Tweedie on Instagram. Anyway, first question. We're going to start off with something that has been part of our lives for such a long time. In your opinion, what makes a good central midfielder? That comes in from Jordan Conlon. So we're going to change that question slightly to what makes a good centre attacking midfielder as...
Oh, why?
Well, that's where I've played for so long.
Yeah, but I've got opinions on that.
Okay. So do you want to kick it off?
Sure.
Share your wisdom.
First of all, it depends whether you're talking about attacking midfielder or defending midfielder.
Okay. We'll go with attacking first.
When I think about defending midfielders, we're going with defending midfielders. Let's go with defending midfielders first. When I think about defending midfielders, I think about Vince Grella. And if you're not Australian, you've probably got no idea who Vince Grella is.
And if you're not above the age of 30 years old, you don't know who he is.
But Vince Grella used to be the Australian defending midfielder for a long time. And he had the characteristics of being tough as nails, so no one got past him. He was a hard tackler, and he would just run and run and run all day. So when I look at the difference between defending and attacking, the defenders have to be a bit stronger and a bit tougher and a bit better at tackling, and they really have to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah.
You're not expecting a defending midfielder to win the game with a moment of magic.
I think some do.
In which case, you don't care whether they're... Yeah, they might
do. Like, you look at Fabregas as an example.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's good if they do.
Of course.
But with an attacking midfielder, if they set up 3 goals, you don't care if they walk the rest of the game.
Yeah, right.
You see what I mean? But with the defending midfielders, they've got to be switched on every minute.
See, for me, a defensive midfielder, what I like as playing as a 10 or out wide, if I'm out wide, I love it if a defensive midfielder can switch that ball. So they're going to have vision to see the game, and that's with the ball. If I'm playing as an attacking midfielder, I want them to be... I want penetrating passes. I don't want a defensive midfielder that goes backwards the whole game. That's a little bit boring.
And in fact, in your career, the best defending midfielder I ever saw you actually play with was Jake Holland. Because he would get the ball and he would look for the pass, and he would always pass forward, and he wouldn't try and win the game by running 50 meters.
Right.
He would make the pass.
It's important as a defensive midfielder. As an attacking midfielder, what are some of the... What makes a good attacking midfielder? Well, like Dad said.
That's a bit easy.
Assists, goals, and...
Yeah, but that's outcomes.
Yeah,
what are the qualities that make the attacking midfielder?
For me, positioning is above all. If you're an attacking midfielder that can't get in a good position, you're not going to do anything.
And well, I don't think we really realised that until we started doing video analysis with your mentor who cannot be named. He kept showing you the whole thing about being between the lines, being in a position to receive the ball, and that's the most important thing.
It's massive.
And it's easy to say and very hard to do.
Yeah.
And most of the attacking midfielders that I see play they think they're playing striker and they get in the box all the time. That's not the answer.
Or running around and coming short. A lot of it, attacking midfielder, if you guys ever watch me, a lot of it is just walking around. And sometimes, especially with new coaches, they either see that and kind of understand it, or they're not looking for that, which I get. But they might have a little bit of a go at me and say, show yourself for the ball. But my positioning is, determined of what I think is going to happen in 2 or 3 passes time.
And the other thing that your mentor and I talked to you about 1,000 times when we did the video analysis is don't look for the ball, look for the space. Because your habit in the early days of playing 10 is to run towards the ball. Run towards the ball. You might get the ball. Run towards the ball. And actually, running into space is the thing. Even if you don't get the ball, you're creating more opportunities. But in terms of the pure qualities, I mean, those things about running into space, they're things that you learn. In terms of qualities, one, you've got to be quick enough. You don't have to be lightning fast, but you can't be slow. You've got to be able to pass, precision passing, and you've got to be able to see the whole game. You can't just be looking at the ball, you've got to be seeing what's going on. Like the quarterback.
Creativity. Like
the quarterback in NFL, like the halfback in rugby, you've got to be able to see the whole field, not just what's happening there with the ball.
Exactly. So I hope we help some of you central midfielders out there. Match analysis, super important. That's what I'd take away.
Yeah, well, some of those things, you've either got them or you haven't.
Yeah.
The speed you can improve, as you've showed. The vision you can learn. The space you can learn. Forget I said that. Don't worry about that. Take that
out. How do you... Next question, number 2. Oh, sorry, that last one comes in from Jordan Conlon.
Thank you, Jordan.
Second question, we're doing position orientated today. Comes in from Ahmed B or Ahmed B. I don't know how you say that. How to play centre back if you're not that tall. Do you know the one time I played centre back in my life?
No.
There was this, I think it was the West Ham Academy trial thing. Right. And they needed a centre back for the, I think it was like the 13 to 14 age group.
Right.
And I went, yeah, alright, whatever. I went in and centre back, and I loved it. I was
distributing.
Mate, I did like double scissors on the striker and distributed the ball.
Yeah, well,
one of my favourites.
That was
yeah, crazy. I love that. Anyway, for me, a centre back, distribution is key. The ability to distribute the ball and pass it forward without going side to side, and no one really wants a centre-back in their team that is one-dimensional in being sideways passing, so to your left-back and to your other centre-back, backwards to your goalkeeper, and then a long ball over the top. That's very... That's all the easy options. Yeah. There's nothing there. What a centre-back should be looking for. If you guys saw, I forget his first name, Pavard, he put a splitting ball from inside his half to the striker into the box, one touch and finish, and they scored. Those sorts of passes is what I believe a centre-back, regardless of how tall you are.
Well, that reminds me of that trial game, the first trial you had with Sydney FC, where the centre-backs there would fire bullets to the midfielders, and it was brilliant. I mean, my first bit of advice to a centre-back, following on what you said, is practice being able to make a bullet precision pass over 30 metres. Yeah. Because if you can't do that, then all you're ever going to do is pass sideways to the fullback.
It must be on the ground.
On the ground. Must be on the ground. So when you're playing out from the back, if you can't play that ball between the striker and the attacking midfielder, the other team, straight through them, you might only get a couple of metres, but if you can put a bullet between them to your attacking midfielder, you change the whole game.
Oh.
But you have to practice that thousands of times, because if you do that and you can't put the bullet right between them and they intercept them, you look like a complete idiot.
Yeah, so I think...
That's the first thing.
Well, instead of worrying about height, well, you worry about that and go, okay, I'm not tall, but what can you be good at instead is kind of the direction you should look at as a player.
And see, I reckon the second thing, I mean, we just talked about it with attacking midfield. It applies to every position on the field, really. But the second thing, if you're not tall and you're playing centre-back, then it becomes even more important that you have awareness of everything that's going on. Because you make up for your lack of size by being in perfect position.
Yeah.
If you're in the right position, they can't get past you anyway.
Kante, as an example. So, you know, maybe your differentiate is knowing what's going on around. It could be speed as well. There's a whole lot of things that, you know, a lack of size can make up for. Of course, you don't have the height to win the headers in the air, so that's a little bit of a letdown. Some coaches, and it comes down to, again, some coaches might not be looking for a shorter centre-back.
Yeah, but when you think about it, you've got to be able to defend headers, right? Your team has to. So I kind of think there must be something in there about you're likely to have another centre-back who's tall, or fullbacks who are tall, and you've got to work with them.
Yeah.
They've got to partner with you and protect you from those balls. And you've got to talk to them about that before the game, during the game.
Yeah.
It kind of comes down to you can't have 4 short guys across the back.
No. So, yeah, what I will say is, if you get dropped as a short centre-back, you shouldn't get discouraged.
No. Because,
like I said, a lot of coaches are looking for specific things. They might be looking for a 6'4" centre-back, and that's their cutoff. Remember that trial I saw? Oh, I forget for which club it was, but it was like under 20s player needed, must be 6'4" and rock solid at the back.
Yeah.
And that was their criteria.
But here's another question. What's his name? Ahmed? Here's a question for you, Ahmed. If you're a football player and you're short, why are you playing centre-back? Because all the skills that you've got that allow you to play centre-back, maybe you'd be better off as a fullback or a defending mid.
That's a good point.
I've seen a lot of guys who play in the back line, particularly centre-back, and I've looked at them and thought, particularly if they've got ball skills, I think, why aren't you playing a defending midfielder?
Yeah.
People get a bit obsessed with playing in one place, and you've got to step back and assess all the time, would I be better off, instead of trying to fix my deficiency in this position, to go for a different position?
Yeah, and there's no harm in that. So we're going to end it there. 2 questions, very positional orientated. Sometimes, you know, we've answered questions in the past like, what are the most important parts of a highlight tape? What's your favourite post-mill game? What is the fastest way to improve your first touch? All these sorts of things. I don't really want to answer a question of Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. It's a little bit boring.
Oh.
So make sure you get sending those questions in. Again, don't forget, comment below.
Messi,
of course. They're done. Anyway, Team Tweedie, sign out. Make sure you like on the show, subscribe if you're around here, join the hashtag AskTweedie family. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.